If you're new to my channel, I'm Susie and I help people ascend. Ascension is all about doing the inner work. Okay, we come inwardly and we remember who we are. There's a lot of fallacies out there in the New Age spiritual community that are teaching ascension, okay, but they're actually getting people to be disempowered. Ascension is an inside job. You don't need to go anywhere to ascend. You go inwardly, and that's what this is about. So be mindful in the New Age spiritual community. There's a lot of nonsense that they're pumping out there. Okay, don't hand your power away anymore. We've done that for years and years. Okay, it's time to recalibrate and time to realign with our spirit again. This is what this time is about. Hi Rita, my friend, how are you doing today? Welcome to the live stream. I'm wondering if you have been receiving the notifications to my videos, because yeah, YouTube's still doing crazy ass shit, and I've sent numerous feedback forms to YouTube, so I don't know what's going down. And I read a different thing somewhere that YouTube have been accidentally flagging certain videos and stuff. So we'll see what happens. I'll just continue to just push out the love and light, because they can't stop me. I'm a woman on a mission, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, I see the earth shifting. As a healer, someone who's in tune with energy, I can feel the energy shifting of the earth. So they can't stop us. That's good. Oh, and you haven't been getting no notifications. Wow. Yeah, so they're still at it, but it is what it is. What can I do? All I can do is just push on. You see? So it's the time now, okay? Um, if you're just jumping on to the live stream and you're new here, I'm Susie and I help people ascend. So feel free to jump on board, subscribe, hit the like button, and drop me some comments below, guys, if you have any questions or anything like that. If you're feeling lost and confused in this new age spiritual community, because like I said, it's been hijacked. So much nonsense being pumped out there. It's confusing people and playing with people's heads. Okay, try not to get caught up in that. If you're watching something, okay, right now, it's time to use discernment. Really tap into the energy. Okay, you should be practicing this every day as your spiritual discernment. When you're speaking to people, you tune into their energy, you feel the energy, okay? Because you're becoming more attuned with energy. You're not just this human you, the physical you. You're becoming more attuned with energy. So to attune more with energy, you got to understand your own energy first. And how you do this is you tap in, you hone into your own energy field. When you tap into your energy field, hi, I'm Mahesh. I can't speak Hindi, I'm sorry. I could only speak Australian here. I'm sorry. Okay, so when you tap in, okay, you're tapping into your inner frequency. When you understand yourself, your spirit, okay, you can feel energy. You become more attuned and sensitive to other energies, okay? So when you're watching people in this new age spiritual community and they're delivering to you their content, okay, you tune in to how you feel. If it feels off, if it feels shonky, it means it's off, because energy doesn't lie. That's your intuition. That's your soul. Your spirit is talking to you. So trust that. Okay. Thank you for the compliments. I love you guys. One love to everyone. I'm here in Australia. I'm in Australia. Okay. And you know, on the YouTube lives, okay, we get a lot of what they call trolls, okay, people operating from their ego still. So some people choosing to ascend at this time, some people are choosing to evolve at this time. It means they're operating from their spirit now. They're no longer operating from the old place of their ego, okay, because that's what happened to the earth. The earth was just so hijacked, okay. The earth was so hijacked, okay, and people were just so embedded in their ego. That's why everything turned crazy all around the world. Look at the world right now, because people are so dominated by their egos, okay? So when we're coming back in, we're tuning back to spirit, we're understanding energy, we're learning about energy, okay? Hello, Abdul, I can't say your name, Abdul Ghaffar. Lots of love from is that the States? I can see the little flag. We got Aussies here. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the live stream. If you're new here, feel free to jump on board if you resonate with my teachings and subscribe. Okay, it's time now. Okay, the earth is recalibrating and we're coming back to the natural state. Okay, and a lot of people are looking around at the earth right now and they're just seeing chaos. But in the chaos, what's happening is such a beautiful thing, because the earth is starting to restore. Okay, the earth is going to return back to her natural state. Mother Earth is purifying at this time, hence why we're seeing the volcanoes, the earthquakes, the solar activity has been increased, because we're in solar cycle maximum 25 right now. Okay, it's all part of the earth's shift. Okay, these times right now were prophesized. Okay, they're prophesized by the Hopi elders. Maybe you resonate with the Hopi, okay, teachings. Okay, maybe you resonate with the Rainbow Warriors, 144,000. Okay, Even these were prophesied in the Bible, and I'm not religious, okay? These were prophesied way back in time. This is the time that we're in right now. So when you're looking out there and you're getting confused because that new age spiritual community is so hijacked and convincing people that ascension is on this planet far from us. No, ascension actually is an inside job. It means we've got to look within. We've got to connect to our spirit. We've got to look within, and we've got to face the shadow within. But it's time to recalibrate, okay? Because that earth, okay? Closer to Grace says ego has always brought down the great and the small. It's very true. The ego end up dominating man, okay? And that's how the earth just turned to how it has been. All these wars, okay? Brothers against sisters, woman against woman, men against men. I was watching like a little YouTube short earlier, okay, and this woman was just being mean to men and just talking nonsense about men, saying men should lift this amount of weight, men should deadlift and this and that. And I went through and I was just very interesting. I was just reading the comments and I'm like, I'm still seeing brothers and sisters still going up against each other. We need to come back now, okay? Hi, Emu, welcome. We need to come back now, okay? Back to our hearts. This is where the light is, in our hearts. We're letting our spirits rise at this time. So it's time to recalibrate. And the matrix out there, okay, the 3D realm is doing everything they can, okay, to distract you from what's actually going on. As the earth is shifting, we need to keep up with the shift of the earth. Okay, so we come back in and we have to look after our frequency because it's energy currency at this time. Okay, you can feel that you're rich financially, you can feel that you're rich because you have all this swag and all this shit, but really the real currency, my friend, is frequency. Okay, are you looking after your frequency? Are you coming back inwardly? This is really important at this time, to return inwardly, come back and connect with your spirit, because there's so many ways that we can just come off track. Okay, social media is a big thing for that. Even myself lately, I had to put my phone aside because I found myself, I was just researching too much. And I'm like, no, actually, I need to spend more time with my spirit. So I'll put all that aside. Okay. And we've got to put all these distractions aside, the alcohol, the drugs, whatever it is that you may be still partaking in as a distraction, because the ego wants you to be distracted still. Let me tell you why. Okay. To connect to your spirit. Okay. To connect to your spirit, you got to push past that ego. The ego is trying to protect you because the ego has so many layers. The ego has been trying to protect you for most of your life because the pain and the trauma that sits underneath the ego, it's called the shadow self within. To be able to get to the shadow self within, the only way through is through. Remember this on your journey, to merge with your spirit, to connect with your spirit, to ascend. Okay, to reach a state of enlightenment, to reach the light, because the kingdoms of heaven is within. The only way through is through, so you have to face that shadow within. I'm talking all that trauma, all the stuff that you've buried and pushed aside. So when that ego gets loud and that ego wants you to continuously scroll and to continuously be gaming or to continuously be drinking or smoking or blazing up or whatever it is, okay, it's the ego still trying to protect you from reaching the shadow within. Because what happens when you reach the shadow within, you're there now. Okay, you're closer to the light now. Okay, I'm just trying to keep up with some of you guys' comments on here. Yeah, I've got the Arabic writing on me. I'm half Lebanese, so I've got a lot of Arabic writing on me. Closer to Grace says, I've always believed that with distractions comes confusion, and with confusion, all lies have the ability to become truth. Such a dangerous notion. The only way to combat that is deep understanding. That's the thing. We have to have compassion at this time, because, and that's how we stay in our heart and we keep our frequency lit as well, because we're helping the earth shift through our frequency. And you can see as well, based on some comments here, people that come and go, you know, on the live streams, that some people still hold a very low frequency. They'll come on and they'll just write some nonsense and they'll bounce. You know what I mean? And it just shows that if some people are still operating from a low frequency, they're still operating from their ego. Okay, and some people are actually operating from their higher self now. Okay, so to recalibrate, we've got to pull ourselves away from the distractions, and it's so easily done. Okay, we can sit there and just get caught up. You may feel you're doing the right thing. Yes, I'm here and I'm researching because I'm trying to figure out what's going down now with this or whatever, and you're just really trying to go down certain rabbit holes maybe, so you can be well equipped for your future. But really all we have is this now moment, and we get caught up sometimes. This is the ego. You got to watch that ego. Okay, this time is about transcending that ego. Watch how the ego operates. Watch, study, and observe your ego every single day. Make that your mission. And I tell you now, that's when you're really going to connect with your spirit. You'll connect with your spirit. Okay, when you're watching that ego. because you pierce through the layers. You pierce through the layers. And sometimes it feels really uncomfortable when you put your phone aside. Okay? This is the thing. When you put your phone aside and you stop scrolling and keeping yourself so super busy, okay? When you decide not to pick up the substance or whatever that you're so used to doing, when you decide to just slow down a bit and not be the workaholic, you start to make those positive changes because you're really starting to get it now, right? You're starting to understand, okay, the only way to shift is for me to shift. No one can do this for me. This is my own inside job, right? And you start to slow these things down a bit and you feel uncomfortable now. Okay, you start to feel like, okay, you're feeling emotional. Maybe you're feeling irritated. It just doesn't feel right. Why? Because you're not used to that. Your ego has been so busy. Okay, and a lot of us have been in fight or flight mode for most of our lives. We've had to be in survival mode because of what? Because of all the traumas we've been through, because of all the traumas that they're pumping out there on the news and all that nonsense and all the things that they've done right back to 2020, you know what I'm talking about, right? And all the things that they continuously to do is to put humanity into a state of fear. Okay, so then your ego is super active now. Your physiologically, your body is suffering now. Okay, your vagus nerve is thrown off track. So your whole health is thrown off track. Okay, so it's about, okay, we slow down, we observe the ego, we come in and we can face those shadows within, but we got to slow down, we got to put the distractions aside. And this is an uncomfortable process for some people if you're not used to doing this. But this is the only way you're really going to truly and properly heal. And if you're ready to heal, okay, it's time to start making those small changes and bringing some self-discipline. So start with the small things, like when you're having a meal, okay, how many of us actually sit there and, you know, eat a meal, okay, while we're watching something. You've got to be watching something on the phone, or some people have a TV. I don't do the TV, it's nonsense. People are distracting themselves, they're eating. So come back to basics, my friend. Recalibrate and realign. Just do one thing at a time. Maybe, you know, you've just finished cooking your meal or you're preparing your meal and then, you know, you're waiting for something to simmer or whatever and then bang, you're scrolling. No, just do one thing at a time now. I'm just going to cook my meal right now, yeah? So focus on just doing the one task at a time because you're generating that way, okay? You're not being pulled in, your energy is not being pulled in this direction, that direction, every direction. You're generating more energy that way, your own energy. You're recalibrating that way. You'll merge with your spirit because we're not designed to have all these, like, look at that, all the dopamine hits, like boom, boom, boom. It's like a dopamine overload. You wake up in the morning, you're on your phone straight up, you're getting dopamine hit. What's happening? The brain's getting fried, my friends. This is not a normal thing. We're going back to the old school way. Okay, we live gracefully, the old school way, how our ancestors used to live before everything got hijacked and turned. We're in a pole shift right now, so things are changing up. We've got to keep up with the shift because you can either go one way on the earth right now, or you can go the other way. You can walk the path of righteousness and return back to your spirit, or you can get caught up in the matrix and suffer. The choice is yours. You have a choice. We have free will. We come here on this earth with free will. So you get to decide. Don't hand your power away anymore. You don't need to hand your power away anymore. Okay, I'm just going to check some of these comments here. The world is full of distractions. They say being present with oneself to help distractions lose their noise. Well, that's the thing. A lot of people struggle because the mind is so active. They've got so many traumas that have been buried. Okay, traumas from childhood, traumas from wherever, whatever in life. And these things are so intense that people just don't feel safe enough. But you got to remember that you are safe. Because the feeling of unsafety, that's just coming from the mind. That's the ego telling you that. When you're super present, you're here, you're present, okay? And you're sitting there. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to allow myself to be present. I'm putting the phone aside tonight. That's it. After dinner, that's my new law. After dinner, the phone's off now. I'm going to spend the rest of the evening from 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. till bedtime. That's it. I'm zenning out. I'm lighting a candle. I'm lighting some sage. And I'm going to sit here in my energy. The phone is on silent. It's off. It's on airplane. I'm going to sit in my energy. And I'm going to start to allow myself to do this more often, more frequently, every single day. This is presence. You watch the ego, watch the mind. You do this. Things may start to shift up and stir up in you. The discomfort, you allow the discomfort to shift. Allow it to shift, and I promise you, okay, things will shift. I promise you, you'll start to feel better. You'll start to meet parts of your soul. You'll merge with your spirit in ways you never thought possible. Okay, you have so many beautiful spiritual abilities that you aren't even aware of. A lot of you not even aware of just yet because you haven't pushed past the discomfort through the ego. Like I said, the ego is one thing, it's just always trying to survive. Okay, the ego is this protective barrier for you reaching the shadow within, which is all the old traumas and all the old energy. So it has to shift, okay? So being present, that's where it's at. So practice that every single day, okay? When you wake up in the morning, instead of jumping on your phone, okay, set yourself a rule, okay? I'm going to wake up. Me, what I do personally is I'll wake up, I'll sit there for a few moments, I'm just zenning out, I'm meditating, I'm present. I know what I've got to do that day because I wake up like that. And then bang, I'm straight on the yoga mat because I'm on the yoga mat now and I'm shifting energy. And sometimes on the yoga mat, I just start laughing. It's a beautiful thing because that Kundalini energy is flowing. But sometimes on the yoga mat, I may start to cry and get emotional. Why? Because I'm so in tune with myself now. Any old ass energy that's sitting within, it's going to shift right now. But I'm not going to get in my head about it when the energy is going to shift. Okay? You may recognize, okay, there's sadness now that's coming up. You may recognize, okay, I woke up and I felt frustrated. You recognize that. Maybe when you're just starting off this, recognize it, call it out. Okay, welcome it. Hello, frustration. The frustration is here now. You've just labeled it. Later on, you won't need to label it. You just know it's just energy because all emotions is everything's just energy and it's just all trying to shift. But we need to step back and allow it to shift so we can properly heal. So we don't need to be distracted all the time, merging with the AI. That's another thing I'll get into. People are merging with the AI. It's like, don't lose your soul. Don't lose yourself on the earth at this time, my beautiful friends, okay? I'm just going through these comments here. How do I say your name? Abdul Ghaffar. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Susie, I've been through multiple things in life and I've traveled half of the world, read multiple books and magazines. I've never been mesmerized with something more than the Holy Quran. Have you? I haven't read the Holy Quran. My father was Muslim. I didn't agree with religion at all. I found my spirit. But in all religions, okay, all these different religions, they all come back to the same thing, is righteousness. I think we can all agree on that. Okay, it's about doing the right thing, okay? Because everything is karma at the end of the day. So what energy we're putting out, that's the energy we're going to bring back into our lives, okay? Closer to Grace says, I've been giving myself time to be more present, understanding my shadow self and feeding the light. I have courage. It's a hard battle. You are courageous for doing this work, my friend, okay? You're very courageous. Keep doing the inner work, okay? And yes, it feels like a hard battle sometimes, but you're built for this. If you weren't built for this, okay, this path wouldn't have chose you. You wouldn't have chose this path. Your spirit chose this path. It's the little human ego. Oh yeah, I can't do this. Oh, it's too hard. Yes, it can feel difficult. But let's be mindful of our wording as well because we're powerful, conscious creators. When we say something's hard, we're going to reinforce that. Yeah, so please be mindful, my friends. We don't want to reinforce the difficult times because everything is impermanent anyway. Yes, we suffer. We go through the suffering. We go through the heartache. We go through the pain. We go through so much. But we're learning non-attachment. We no longer attach to these situations. So when we're allowing ourselves to be present and to recalibrate and realign with our spirit, okay, we're no longer attached to what comes up. So just remember that. So when you're just cruising along, okay, something trying to shift up in you now, you're present, you're putting healthy things in place now, you're not using the phone as much, you're not distracting yourself as much, okay? So then now whatever's going to arise in you, whether it be frustration, sadness, grief, anger, whatever may arise in you, you just witness it, okay? It's energy. You're the observer, your spirit, you are higher self. That's your soul, that's your spirit, okay? Now I'm witnessing within me the energy shifting. I can witness it. That's anger shifting now. You may wake up sometimes. Some people wake up, they say, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You woke up because the energy is shifting within you. But then what people say now, I'm going to have a shit day because I woke up like that. You're going to have a crappy day. Why should you set your whole day up now because you just manifested a real bad day instead of just being the present moment? Okay, welcome this. Okay, I welcome this frustration. Good. Welcome it. Because if you lose the resistance, you welcome that in, it's going to shift a lot quicker. I promise you that. It may shift in half an hour. It may shift in 5 minutes. I don't know how much energy you have that's trying to shift. And sometimes we take little bits here and there. But the minute we put resistance to it, okay, then we are slowing down the process. Okay. Thanks, I get that. I shouldn't give more power to the negative emotions and thoughts. They already here by thinking them even more. Well, that's the thing. It's just allow them and just practice that. Okay, just keep allowing them. Okay, it's like I say, it's when we're watching the ego, we're watching the thoughts. You can look at it like this. This is a good example. I will say is you watch the thoughts go by like clouds in the sky. You're observing the thoughts, the mind. So that way, you're no longer attached. When you're no longer attached, that's when the suffering dissipates. Because you'll be sitting there, you maybe feel emotional. Maybe you're talking to someone about your loved one in spirit. You miss your loved one in spirit. You're talking to them, the conversation's up. Bang, you need to cry. You get that out, you release. You feel sad because you miss your beautiful loved one in spirit. But you're not attached to that emotion because you are mature, spiritually mature enough now, wise enough now to know, yeah, well, shit, this is just energy and this is just trying to shift. You see? And it's a beautiful thing. You'll release so gracefully. Okay? You just release. And then bang, you're back to neutral state again. And then bang, maybe a few moments later, you're laughing. Everything is impermanent, guys. Everything's impermanent, okay? How close would ego be tied to emotions? Well, this is the thing, okay? The ego will go and tell us a story. Pay attention to how your ego works, okay? The ego's always coming up with these stories. The ego will tell you a story about, okay, for me, myself, for example, my son who's in spirit, I lost my son a few years back, okay? So the ego, with the grief personally for me, the ego would always try to play the victim. Oh, my son's in spirit. Oh, but I miss Luke. Of course I miss my son. I miss my son every single day. But I'm watching the ego. Ego wants to come up this story all the time. Oh, I miss Luke. I miss Luke. I miss Luke. The ego's like playing victim. So when that ego, because it's the thoughts, okay, it's the thoughts that create the emotion. Right. Okay, thank you for your condolences. It's the thoughts that create the emotion. So when we're observing from neutrality, okay, we observe from neutrality, be neutral to whatever thoughts are coming up. As the thoughts come up, they're not even you. Those thoughts are not you. It's just energy. And as we're going and embarking on this healing journey as well, your spirit, your higher self knows exactly what you can handle. You will only receive exactly what you can handle at the time, in every passing now moment. Remember that. Okay? And all you have to do is just experience it, observe that. When we're purifying deeply, we're purifying old traumas and stuff with us, they're coming forward now. What happens is they come forward from our subconscious mind. They're coming forward. So you're having, sometimes you wake up, or maybe in the middle of night even, you're having these racing thoughts. What's all these memories? I don't even know. This shit's crazy. All these racing thoughts, all these memories, all these things, because stuff's coming forward now from your subconscious mind. Why? Because now you're slowed down. You're able to process old traumas and stuff so you can be purified. It's such a beautiful thing. Okay? So don't run from it and don't be afraid from it. Fear is just the ego. Okay, so close to grace is how close would ego be tied to emotion? So you think about it, fear is part of the ego. So when you're sitting there and you're starting to fear because of the thoughts, then what happens next? Then you're going to feel that physiologically, right? You'll feel that physically. Can you hear that? I have possums and the possums run on my roof. They're so funny. I've only been in this place for 6 weeks, and when I first moved here, the lady, she said that we get possums here and you'll hear them running on the roof. And when I first heard the possum running on the roof, I'm thinking, damn, it sounds like a grown-ass man just like running on the roof. But I'm so used to it now. But it's cool because the other night in meditation, I heard the possums and I was just trying to connect with them telepathically because we can do that. They're pretty interesting. So I've never actually seen one just yet. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so it's the ego. Bro, no way, possums just ran over my roof. I thought you lived in my unit. Oh my god, that's trippy as. Oh, you're in Brisbane. I'm in Perth, Western Australia. Oh, that's cool, bro. Yeah, possums are interesting. I'm very connected to spirit animal. So it's very interesting. So I've been tuning in because the last time I come across possum was in meditation a couple of years ago. So I'm thinking, I wonder if this possum is trying to tell me something or just is. But then again, trying to get in my head about it because that ego was trying to come up with stories and stuff. Yeah. Okay. So my friends, really use this time to recalibrate. Okay, and spend more time outdoors in nature too. Okay, like here in Australia, as you know, bro, over in Brisbane, we're just coming up to the end of winter, and sometimes when it's cold, no matter where you are in the world, sometimes it's too cold to get outdoors and earth yourself and ground yourself and be connected to the earth. But we still need to be disciplined. Okay, even if you're just taking your shoes off and go and stand on the lawn, go and stand on the grass, or just go to a tree and hug the tree and just receive that energy, because it's going to recalibrate you. Yeah, you just tap back into your natural frequency. Okay, so spending time on the earth is very super important. Okay, the more advanced you get with your spirit, you're able to do things energetically. Okay, me as an energy healer, I work with energy. I'm an alchemist. I learned all this. Okay, this is innate, and I'm no different to you. You have these abilities too. You sit there sometimes and you feel heavy. Take this tip from me, my friends. You sit there sometimes, you feel heavy. I was laying in the other night, I was feeling heavy. I was like, oh shit, I need to shift my energy. Something trying to shift in me. I need to clear my energy. Sometimes you just need to clear your energy, okay? So I visualize myself, because the ocean is just across the street. I visualize myself, I see myself jump in the water, and I cleanse, okay? And then bang, I yawned, because when I yawn, that's me shifting energy, okay? As a healer, when I'm yawning, like that, that's me shifting energy. So energy shift. You see, so I'm jumping the ocean. This is all energetically. I'm laying in my bed here. So start to play with energy, okay? You can do it with the sun. You bring the light down from the sun and you bring that through you. If you feel heavy and dense, your energy is shifting, you observe that. But you can assist with that energetically. Let's bring that light in there. Because sometimes we have energies trying to shift. And sometimes, like it may be grief or something, for example, and it's trying to shift in our heart. And sometimes we have like blocks, okay? So when we're trying to shift the energy, you may have experienced this on your journey, or maybe going through it now, where you feel the energy is trying to shift. It's like you're trying to cry, and just little tiny bits at a time trickling through, and it feels horrible because it's a block there, and you just need to have that deep release. So in those situations, that's where you might want to bring some more energy in, bring the light in. I don't channel aliens or angels or archangels or nothing. Okay, I don't do that. Okay, I don't believe in doing things that way. Okay, I channel direct light, pure light, which is pure love frequency. Where? From the universe. I'll bring that light in me. I'll bring that light in me. And I used to do that when I was grieving my son, because the stages where I was blocked, I couldn't cry. I'd cry, but I felt, man, and this is my body's way of protecting me, because otherwise it would have been too much, right? Then I'm learning alchemy here. I'm learning, okay, well, how can I assist myself? Because this is a situation that life gave me. No one's going to come and fucking save me. No one's going to come and save you. Excuse my French, I get passionate. It's up to us. That matrix ain't there trying to tell you how to heal. It's up to us. How we heal is coming inwardly and remembering exactly who we are. We're not the ego. We're not the traumas. We're not the grief. We're not the pain. We're not the suffering. We're not the guilt. If you're holding on to guilt, clear the guilt out. Bring that light in. Yeah, bring the light in and see what you can do with the light. Don't get caught up in all the new age spiritual nonsense out there, where they're telling you to channel this and channel that person and channel all that. If you want to channel, you directly connect to God, which is light, the love frequency. That's how I go about things. Okay. Closer to Grace says, yeah, for my healing began after I decided to quit meth and liquor. As you know, meth was bad here, and when I quit, I got really fat, lol. I nearly lost 200 kilos. Damn, well, wow, that's huge, bro. Like that you actually quit meth and alcohol. That's actually huge. And you know what? And that would have been pretty full on for you as well, because when we're coming off a substance or something we've been using for so long, you're not just dealing with the physical detox side of things and then your brain trying to recalibrate. Well, hats off to you, because you're a legend, right? But then also the amount of emotions that you would have had to deal with, all the emotions that was suppressed of years of abuse, right? So hats off to you. That takes a lot of courage. Don't underestimate yourself, my friends. And we have those moments where we feel like knocked about and stuff, but don't ever estimate your strength. Have a look back. I mean, we live in the now moment. We don't need to go to the past, but if you're going to look back in the past, have a look back and think, wow, look how far I've traveled. Look how far I've come. And I'm still here, trying to find my way still. Walking this sacred path of righteousness, embodying more light, becoming a better human being. Yeah. Merging with my spirit and sharing that love frequency with the world. Because when I do the inner work and you do the inner work and we operate from our spirit and no longer our ego, that's how the earth shifts. Okay? And this is what we embody. This is what we cultivate. This is the life we live. We wake up, we live a righteous life. Yeah, and it comes down to, okay, it comes down to self-love. You wake up in the morning, okay, let's look at that. Put the phone aside, because people are merging now with the AI, with the robots. People are just, even I feel so sad for the future children, these kids these days, because they're even losing their ability to read and write, because now they're just using the AI and the chat and GTP and all this business. It's crazy out there. Even myself, when I go to the supermarket, I won't go and use the little robot machines. I'll line up and wait, and I just sit there and I observe everyone lining up using the self-scan robots. But people don't realize you're handing your power away. They're trying to merge humanity with the robot. Okay? It's transhumanism. This is a big thing out there. As the earth is shifting and people are coming back to their spirit, realigning, recalibrating, but so many people are not walking this path, they're going to get lost. Okay? There are already a lot of lost souls out there now, that they've just lost their souls to the matrix, and it's very sad. We can just have compassion and we send our love and prayers out, because every soul has a contract, and some souls chose not to ascend in this lifetime. Okay, that's the path they chose, unfortunately. But if that's what their soul chose, we have to just have compassion and cool, because when they return on another incarnation, whether it be on the earth or wherever, then they'll just continue their path of evolution. This is what this time is about. It's evolution, right? Rita says so many lost, and absolutely right, because you can see that you're getting out and about, and take a look around, my friends. You look around your community, do you see many people like holding this frequency? So when you're talking to people and people are attracted to you, people want to pick up the phone and talk to you, people want to hang out with you because they feel your energy. Okay? And yes, have boundaries in place. You don't have to go and hang with people you don't want to. Have boundaries in place. But the beautiful thing is, okay, you hold such a high frequency that you're helping others heal. You don't even have to talk. It's just your presence, because it's the light that you hold within, the energy that you emit. Why? Because when you do all the shadow work, you face those traumas. I'm talking about those childhood sexual traumas. I'm talking about all those abuse traumas. I'm talking the abandonment and neglect traumas. I'm talking about all of those traumas. You're brave, you're staunch, you're courageous, and you're facing all those traumas. What's happening? You're clearing all that density out of you. And we're going on a cellular level now. And now you're hitting your childhood, and now you're hitting your ancestry, your bloodline. So what's going to happen naturally, you're going to embody more of your light. You're going to get around like that. So you're doing that. Closer to Grace is doing that. Rita's doing that. Everyone here who resonates with my teachings is doing that. You see? We get around because we're healers. Like I said, you don't even need to talk. It's your energy. Okay? And people, you're going to walk into a room and people are suffering in that room. You're going to walk into that room, you don't have to do anything. And later on, you'll see. You won't even see. Because people are going to go on their path, go home, whatever. But things are taking place within them. Energy is shifting within them because of you. So don't ever doubt yourself. Don't ever underestimate yourself. When you're having those moments, those days where you feel completely swayed, you're recalibrating. Remember that. You're healing. You're still coming back to baseline, to your spirit. And remember that, because you're helping the whole earth shift. You're helping Mother Earth rise back up into the higher frequency. You see what I'm saying? Closer Grace. As my family couldn't understand. I wanted a different life. When I started to heal, I lost everything, but I always walk as much as I can with love in my heart and understanding as my notebook. That's so beautiful. It is very beautiful to see men. Thank you for sharing that, bro. To see men on this path as well of righteousness, because people think, oh no, you're a pussy because you got an open heart. I think the most attractive thing, the most attractive thing that I see in a man is a man who's cultivated his heart. That he's in his heart. He's no longer operating in a place of separation and division. He's in his heart. That's a man to me. That's how our men was back in the day, our warrior man. And women the same. It's such a beautiful, attractive thing. You can be pretty, you can have a beautiful body. I like to go to the gym and look after my body. I like to do my braids and stuff. But That's just external. But the real beauty is the light within. It's your heart frequency. That's the real beauty. And you look around at the world, how the matrix ate people up now, because so many people now are having body dysmorphia issues because people are just so lost, so caught up in social media. It really screwed a lot of people over. People are forgetting what real beauty and what real authenticity is. Okay, it's not Maybelline. It's not having the fast car. It's not having this amount in your bank account. It's not about social status. Okay, so you guys, you are the real authentic crew because you are here and you resonate with my teachings. Okay, we resonate for a reason. So stay on your path. Okay, and the universe will bring the right people onto your path. But it's important to keep practicing presence. Okay, stay present, because then when you're present, you'll continuously realign and recalibrate. Even when you get swayed about, okay, you get knocked about, you're releasing, you're doing the inner work, you're going through the shadow work, dark night of the soul, you're releasing a whole lot of old energy. Okay, and afterwards, okay, sometimes afterwards we can slide into old habits. And I used to do this, I used to comfort eat. Okay, I used to comfort eat because I was holding my own as a single woman, grieving my only child. Okay, my son was 16, I lost him to suicide a few years back. And it was very difficult for me. Okay, and then I went and moved into the country for 2 years on my own to properly heal and sit in isolation. I thought, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it then. So I sat there and I got ripped apart, and that was all my intention. Why? So I can become more of who I am, because I'm not this grieving mum. I'm more than that. I'm spirit. I'm a powerful being of light. And that's what you are. And I'm here to empower you and remind you and activate you of who you really are. We're not the ego. We're not the suffering. No matter what we've been through, no matter what you're going through now, you can still come back and recalibrate and shine so bright and not have a blackened heart. Just look around, a lot of people with blackened hearts, okay? But not you. You walk this path, you stay this path. So you finished there, you just got ripped apart, you're purging, you had a good day of crying even, you had a good week of crying even. What I used to do, afterwards, I'd cry, release, I'd go and binge eat. And not that I eat junk food, because I eat very clean. There's no junk in my home, okay? I eat very clean, but I'd go and I'd eat like a whole bag of nuts, yeah, or a whole jar of peanut butter. That's like, what, 1,200 calories or something, because it was soothing myself. And I'm openly talking about this because maybe you're in that situation. Maybe it's not food even. Maybe it's drugs or alcohol or addiction, whatever it may be, because it was self-soothing. It was like a hug after the hours of crying. It was like a big warm hug for me. I didn't have anyone around me. It wasn't marijuana, because I, got rid of that habit because I recognized I was sliding into that habit. And it took me a while to recognize what was happening. It took me a while, and I realized, well, actually, I'm self-soothing in an unhealthy way. Look what I'm doing to my body. So we're learning to love ourselves more at this time and honor ourselves through our process. Now, okay, I can comfort myself in other ways. I can make myself a nice cup of tea. I can pick up the phone and just talk to someone. I can go for a walk. I can run myself a nice bath, have a nice hot shower, go and do a face mask, go look at myself in the mirror, play with my hair, something that's healthier. That's me telling me, I love you, Suzanne. You've got this. You are fucking strong. You're solid. And it's okay. And it's okay. And spirit's always around. My son is my witness. I'm still mum. I'm still going to be that example. I said to my son in spirit, I said, wherever you roam, bro, this is me and Luke. For you guys who know me, you know me and Luke. Okay? I said, son, wherever you roam in the universe, please still learn from me and apply this on your future endeavors, anywhere across the cosmos. You see what I'm saying? That's true love, baby. It's my spirit. You see? I love you guys' comments. You guys are awesome. I love you, Rita. It's so good to see you here, my friend. Yeah, there's a lot of lost souls out there. We just have to hold compassion in our hearts, okay? Close to Grace says, thank you. It was a long battle for my heart to soften. As a big married guy who boxed ego was a beast to fight. When I realized what really matters, I put the gloves down and looked for light. Oh, that's awesome, brother. Yeah, that's awesome. Me too. Like I never did boxing. I did a bit of like mixed martial arts and stuff, but when I get on the bag, I'll cut sick, even to the point where I nearly snap my wrist. I love weight training, that's my thing. But you know, I love to kick bag and I just did that for years. But then I got to the point where every time I was releasing anger, I was actually amplifying it because I'm getting on the bag and just cutting sick. And I had no one to spot me even. So, you know, when you're as you know, when you're releasing that type of rage because it needs to come out, I was amplifying it to the point I'll just drop on the floor afterwards and completely break and cry. It was hard. But then in the end, I learned that actually I'm amplifying this rage now. I'm going to learn a different way. And I learned now when the anger or rage comes up, the frustration energy, the anger comes up, it's coming up. It's an energy, just like those clouds going past, like I said before, like the thoughts, like the ego. I observed that, and this is frustration here now coming to the surface to be shifted out of me. Yeah, because that shit no longer serves me, right? So I witnessed that. I'm fully present with it, and boom, it will shift. Sometimes it may take a few hours to shift, even because that much energy trying to shift. So that's what I started to found works for me. So that's what I've been teaching since I discovered that, because it works for me. That's an alchemical process now of shifting that energy out of us. So it's good though, because you know, it's boxing bags and things like that is better than hitting other people and stuff, and you know, punching holes in doors and stuff. You know, sometimes we just go through the suffering. It's just so deep, we just don't know. We just, you know, get it, you know. But it's good. We come back to our hearts and we recalibrate. And how else can we recalibrate as well? Maybe you've been so good, you've been really disciplined, and you have been, you know, meditating as, you know, you're always meditating because you're in presence. It's a form of meditation. But then maybe you have your nightly ritual where you really drop into a deep meditation and you connect with spirit and you do some energy work, some chakra work, whatever. Then maybe gone off track now. Okay, so now let's come back to basics. Okay, now, okay, it's the evening now after Susie's video. Okay, I'm going to come back to basics, and bang, I'm going to meditate now. Half an hour, meditate. Good, realign with my spirit. Okay, wake up in the morning, meditate. Maybe you've gone off track with your diet. You like to eat good and clean, because when we're eating good, we're eating clean. Okay, the food we put in our body, okay, all the feel good, the serotonin, all the feel good chemicals for our brain is made in our gut. Remember that. So this is why it's important to eat the good food. And also, if we're eating processed foods, these packaged foods in the matrix, low vibrating foods, toxics, sugars and chemicals, and it's chemicals, guys. Okay, when we're putting that in our body, that's affecting our energy. You want your energy to raise. You want to walk around lit. That's your energy, baby. That's your energy. People are going to feel your energy based on what you're putting in your body, based on what you're still holding on to in your body. If you're still holding on to guilt, that's affecting your energy. If you're still holding on to resentment, okay, let's come now into our heart. What do I need to hold on to resentment for? Yes, people hurt me in the past. Yes, this person seriously fucked me over in the past. But karma's karma. Why are you going to hold on to that for? If you're holding on to stuff what other people did to you still, and I get it, I have been there, believe me. But I'm letting go for me. I don't need to hold on to anything for anyone. That's learning to love yourself now. Yeah. You value and you honor yourself. You honor your spirit. You don't need to hold on to anything that anyone did to you, because if you do, it's just a heavy backpack. You're just weighing yourself down. Okay. Can you love yourself more today? It's time to come back to basics. Okay. Meditate, eat right, spend time on the earth. Okay. Have strong boundaries, strengthen your boundaries. It's okay to say no. Maybe you're used to people pleasing. Okay, you don't need to people please anymore. Maybe that's just a default, okay, part of your default that you've had from childhood, because you know you felt you need to people please because you were abandoned or whatever the reason may have been. You see, Closer to Grace says, I'm trying to learn to let go of injustices. I've experienced one of the battles I still go through. Injustice is a really big one because I went through that. So my son went through sexual trauma, okay, and his court case was awaiting trial. And then after my son suicided, they decided not to continue forward with the case here in Australia, bro. Okay, they said, no, we can't cross-examine your boy, so that's it. We're going to put the case in the bin now, even though the person was charged with the sexual counts and all that on my baby. Okay, so there was injustice there. And I went and fought that system. I fought and I fought. I'm up there. My early grief days, I tell you now, my early grief days, I was in this politician's building there with their fancy fucking flags and all that, fighting for justice. That's how I spent my early grief days. It was terrible, okay? And I crawled my ass out of that building. It says, oh, we can't change your law, Susie. Well, you know, because it's all a bunch of Freemasons. The whole system's corrupt as we're speaking. But things are shifting up because more people's raising their vibration and more people are healing. So, but I had to walk away from that injustice. And Luke was talking to me in spirit, Mum, let it go. It's going to finish you. Please, Mum, let it go. It's going to finish you. Just even remember that. Bruh. But I had to learn to let it go because it would have finished me. Because I wanted justice for my son. Okay? But there's a real law out there, not these corrupt man-made governed laws. No one governs us. We are sovereign beings. Remember that. We are sovereign beings. No one governs you. The real law, okay, is universal laws. And karma is a real universal law. I do not wish ill will on anyone who harmed my son. I do not wish ill will on anyone who had harmed me. I do not wish ill will on anyone out there who's causing harm to children or humanity or the earth or nothing. Why? Because karma is karma. If I put that energy out there, that's the energy I'm going to bring back my way. Remember that. And you remember that, you embody that truth, and I tell you now, your heart will expand more and more. You're cruising down the street now and people are rude and arrogant because they're still in that low frequency. You ain't giving that energy. That person's creating their karma. You smile, you look at them. Oh, sorry, love, you're still operating from your ego. Clearly you ain't evolving. Clearly you ain't shifting. And you have compassion. I always said to my son, just because evil touched you, you do not turn evil. You see? So I'll continue to make my Lukey boy proud. Thanks guys for being here. I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. Closer Grace says, well, you did an amazing job at healing and not a thing can take that away from you. Thank you so much. That's real beautiful. I put in the inner work. Okay. I live, eat and breathe my evolution. Okay. I wake up in the morning. I'm on the yoga mat. I meditate. You know, I prepare my food. I get to the gym. You know, I get out there. I get to the earth. I practice what I preach. I'm not perfect. Okay. I don't claim to be perfect. I'm just coming back to my spirit. And the more that I learn and the more my spirit that I embody, it's just a gift to humanity for me to be able to share that. Because that's what it's about. We should just open our hearts and start respecting one another, putting all the indifferences aside. Because how am I different to you? Even as a male and as a female, how am I different to you? We've all walked this earth walk. We've all had our fair share of pain and trauma and suffering. Okay? So I'm no better than you, and you're no better than me. So that's the frequency we get around in. That's the frequency that's going to keep you lit. That's the frequency that's going to send your ass out of this crazy ass matrix because you merge with your spirit. Because the kingdom to heaven is within. New earth, baby. This was prophesied. It's a Hopi prophecy. These are prophesied. These are prophesied even in the Bibles. We talk about the 144,000, the new earth. Because you are the 144,000, because you are new earth, because new earth is a frequency within. It's not an external job, my friend. It's an inside job. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll leave it there, my beautiful friends. Thank you everyone for being here. And one more thing as well, another good way to recalibrate your body if you're feeling stressed and anxious, okay, is you go like this. It's the prayer position, but you push your palms together like that, okay, because when you're pushing here and here, this here, okay, we're resetting our vagus nerve, okay? This will reset your system. You do this, okay? Just a few minutes here and there, and you're going to feel calmer and lighter. Do this before bed. Do this when you're feeling stressed. Shift, my beautiful friends. See you soon. One love.